We're back with Alden Chodash of AldenBoxing.com. Plenty of action on TV this past weekend, Alden, starting with HBO's featured event, which was Juan Manuel Lopez beating up on the veteran Jerry Penalosa. Quickly, you think Penalosa should retire after that beatdown?
Yeah, he's really not the kind of guy a lot of people want to fight. I mean, he's somewhat entertaining, not too much that the public demands him back. He's not a huge name, and the fact that he took a really tough beating here probably signifies the end of his career with limited options in front of him.
Okay. Juan Manuel Lopez, Celestino Caballero. Why shouldn't that happen?
It should happen. Mm-hmm. It's the best. It's one of the best fights they can make besides a fight between Marquez and Vasquez, a fourth fight, or a fight with any of them on the headline, which is unlikely based on the fact that both are coming off a third fight, which is taking them an exceedingly long period of time for them to recover, it seems. But these are the two best fighters in the world. It helps that the unification to help sell the fight, and it's a fight that I want to see as along with many other boxing.
Are you right? Are you confident that Lopez beats Caballero?
Yeah, I'm pretty confident in this fight. I mean, one guy is close to an expert despite his limited experience and his age.
Of course.
Yeah, Lopez. And one guy is a sloppy fighter that overpowers. And both guys have power. Both guys are strong. One guy has better punches, crisper punches, and it's better technically sound. So I think based on that, just go figure. I think they both go to war, and one of them gets knocked out.
Okay. On the undercard on TV was Lamont Peterson, staying unbeaten. He wins a easy victory, I thought, against Willie Blaine, who had 20 wins but 3 by knockout. He was slapping and didn't do much on offense. First of all, Peterson, what's your views on him?
Well, he's the goods. I don't think I've ever seen Anthony or Lamont Peterson unimpressive. I don't know why it's taken them this long to hit HBO, and it's only been one of them against Willie Blaine on an HBO Boxing After Dark card. I think they should both be titleists by now based on how talented and how good they are. And it's unfortunate that their careers have been moved along this slowly based on the talent level of both of them.
Do you think Lamont Peterson loads up on these punches and they look like they're going to knock somebody's insides out or head off, and people seem to take his punches as almost as if they're just so telegraphed that people are prepared for. What do you think? Do you think he's a
they're
creative
definitely not
fighter?
Telegraphed. Anthony's the puncher, though. Anthony's always been the puncher between the two of them. Lamont Peterson just recently has started to come in and try to rough guys up, and he scored a knockout here. It's more flash, at least maybe on Lamont. It looks harder than it is. It's just really flashy punches with sounds behind them that they both make. But I'm not sure how hard they are, but they're so crisp and quick. And even if they do decide to come forward with that tight defense, it could score them a lot of points and be very effective against anybody. And
you like the way he puts on the earmuffs after he goes through a couple of combinations? Do you think that's a wise strategy?
That's the difference between a guy that doesn't have a great punch like Lamont Peterson going up against guys possibly with good punches that he's been doing quite recently with good punches. That's going to make a difference in being competitive in those kind of situations. A guy that can't punch coming forward, that has his earmuffs on, will fare better against a guy coming forward that can't punch, that isn't as technically sound on defense.
But he had to have known Willie Blaine had no punching power, 3 knockouts.
That's probably why he came forward more than he usually does. But both guys are eventually just accustomed their style to a more aggressive boxing technique, whether they want to do it to make themselves more marketable in kind of a slow career for both of them so far is a question. I probably think it is, because I've seen Lamont on his toes a lot more recently.
Lamont is clearly better than Anthony?
No, I'm not sure. They're about equal. They're really mirror images of each other. The only thing separating them is what I thought was a better punch from Anthony, but both of them have showed better punching power, or what seems to be better punching power than the other in certain moments of their careers, but I still think Anthony's a little better of a puncher. Other than that, they're both pretty equal.
Okay, over to Showtime on Saturday, Alan Green demolishes Carlos De Leon Jr. Green with 1 loss on his record, Edison Miranda. You think Green should fight the winner of the Miranda and Andre Ward matchup coming up soon? Or is there something else you want to see Allen Green do next?
I really don't want to see Allen Green much. He's pretty much just a puncher that can't really hold it together in big fights. But Andre Ward, Edison Miranda, why not?
One of them.
Yeah.
But you wouldn't want to see him go up against Arthur Abraham.
I wouldn't be excited to, but as long as he keeps knocking fighters out impressively, like Carlos De Leon Jr. who get these fights. But obviously he's going to face setbacks because I don't think he could put it together on the big stage too well.
Okay. Early candidate for Fight of the Year, Carl Froch, Jermaine Taylor, yes or no?
Yes. It might maintain its spot throughout the year because it was such a great fight and an entertaining ending to the fight, which probably made the fight great. Froch, it was proven that he came back from behind to win. He wouldn't have won the fight unless he knocked Taylor out, and he did that. Here's a guy that may or may not have suffered from some stamina problems, really turned the table on Taylor, who also has been suffering from stamina problems throughout his career, and put him away in the 12th round when it seemed unlikely because of all the bombs he was landing and Taylor standing up to before the 12th round.
Right. What do you think Jermaine should do now? Should he think about his career? Should he get right back in there as soon as he's healthy? What do you think?
I'm not sure. That's pretty much up to him. He's entertaining. He always has his moments when he loses fights. And we could possibly be seeing a rematch similarly to the whole Kelly Pavlik incident, in which he was beaten much more decisively, but he still got a rematch out of that fight. Right. This fight, very controversial because he would have won the fight if he would have survived for 20 or less than 20 seconds that Froch put him away. And so we could be seeing a rematch very likely, and one that people wouldn't mind seeing, obviously.
Right. It's the first time you really got to see Carl Froch. What do you feel?
He's really awkward. He's not impressive too much. He's a good puncher. I'm not sure how much of his power should be taken into consideration, that he's a real player based on his punching power, or if he was just persistent and caught Taylor when he was unwinding into a D-class fighter like he was in the 12th round. I'm not sure if Taylor just folded under his own fatigue or if it was Froch's punching, but he has great heart. He came back from an early knockdown when it looked like he was totally outclassed and almost knocked out. And even if he wasn't winning the fight, he was starting to build momentum through the second half of the fight, where it could have looked possible that he was going to do what he did.
Mm-hmm. He was calling out Joe Calzaghe. Does he match up well with Calzaghe or no?
No, no way. Even if he didn't knock Taylor out like he did last night, I don't think that's enough to get Calzaghe out of retirement. Guys like Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins kept his career going, and now that he beat both of them, he pretty much has limited options. Talking about going after guys on the level of Roy Jones and Bernard Hopkins that, of course, he hasn't already faced.
Right.
But, yeah, Froch, he's probably not good enough to beat Calzaghe. He might not be a big enough name right now to get the fight with Calzaghe. So. Okay.
What about Arthur Abraham? Something like that, or Kelly Pavlik, for example?
That's a lot more realistic.
Right. How does he figure against those two?
I think Kelly Pavlik and Carl Froch would trump the fight with Jermaine Taylor. I'm pretty confident in that because both guys have similar styles. Ironically, both guys similarly finished off Jermaine Taylor. And it'd be a great fight.
Great. Okay. Quickly, John Duddy and Qasim Uma both lost on Friday. We've seen about the last of those two, unfortunately, right?
Yeah,
on any kind of serious level, anyway.
John Duddy's entertaining to watch. Not too talented. Qasim Uma's on a downward spiral since one point in his career. I can't really recall, but they've been entertaining at their best, and right now they have nothing left.
Okay.